always fucking with me. Today we're going to read this book. We're going to get into one of these chapters. Damn it. We're going to start with the chapter on... Do we want to start with case 1? Let's fucking do it. Let's go to case 1. Alright, case 1. Case number 1. This is so you get a fucking idea of what this shit be doing. Because you know what? I got an attitude today. Pissed off about things that should piss me off. So fuck them. Here we go. Case number 1. Back in front altars in the secret space program, the Fourth Reich. All y'all motherfuckers want to know what's up with the Nazis and the secret space program? Now you're going to find out. Here it is. My story, The Child Within. Elementary school library, 1980s, Monarch programming. I felt like a visitor on planet Earth, and going to my elementary school library sparked great excitement. I knew I'd understand more about the culture, ideals, and the timeline of this planet. Storytime for our class included a book about a caterpillar with a ravenous appetite. Instantly, I received a mental picture in what I know now is my pineal. A brief summary of what Monarch program was and how to identify Monarch programming within. I was both terrified and fascinated. I love butterflies. The teacher's lounge was an open area in the back of the library, where the librarian read seated in front. This frightened me the most. I saw an overlay / bleed through of an off-world scene. I saw stormtroopers and Darth Vader-like character. This took place on Mars, where male blonde-haired, blue-eyed children were captive and used as experiments. There was an upcoming war in this reality between Earth and Mars. The stormtroopers recorded data on computers. I felt I had a mission to save Earth. My stomach turned. I was petrified. I vaguely remembered the humanoid doctors who seemed alien. Others were in disguise. As a child, I was eager to learn something new because my mother made learning fun and enjoyable. On one particular day, my advanced lesson was cursive alphabets / writing. I believe this opened my DNA because mentally I saw the Hebrew letters as we recited and traced the cursive English alphabet. I immersed myself in the color, electric blue. Another mental download I became aware of and taught myself to feel what the color meant to me and that its correct term was royal blue for hyperspace. I had a sudden realization that others knew of my abilities. That if others knew of my abilities, I'd be praised as an indigo child. I was quickly informed that indigo meant indicate, and the Indigo Child movement was created by our government to label and identify highly intelligent children for the use of government mind control purposes. This realization put me in a state of melancholy. I wanted a higher social status for my family, but this outlet was a total lie and would be used to hurt people, even myself. All those thoughts were going on in my head while I learned the ABCs. Any of you 80s kids remember having thoughts like that? Thundercats, ho! Another higher level communication was to pay close attention to the letter Q, and that more would be revealed to me once I learned how to draw a block cursive Q. Puzzled by this discovery, I kept an open mind. Here's what I learned. The false powers that perverted the letter Q to represent a broken number 2 Don't be fooled, this is not a game. I want the absolute truth. I mentally saw the words ET in the clouds, but this didn't mean the conventional sense of alien because they're beyond advanced. Q, as I was told, is an elite military force that will go through a planetary system with a white glove of perfection. Asterisk, asterisk, asterisk. It said, author's note, mentally saw a butler auditing the condition of a mansion and then using a white glove on the surface to ensure everything was clean. Clearing the corruption in the sense of checks and balances, they come when corruption extends past the solar system and only when there's a dire need and the last resort. And then again, chapter author's notes. I don't have an English term to describe dire because they, the Q, don't arrive on a whim, and dire could apply to all human experiences all of the time. But that's what I have. So this is meant to, it's extremely crucial, period, in time. Frantically, I asked, will the planet be taken by force? They are always successful and no governmental power can stop them. They follow the law. Mental picture of the Ahalu temple tabernacle Q spinning on top of the tabernacle with winged lions in military uniform. Civil war. I saw the Torah in Hebrew letters. I begged and pleaded, what does this mean for me? Will they wipe out the planet Earth out of existence? I exclaimed, we need more time. Not everyone on Earth is corrupt. People on Earth are slaves and in mental prison, and I haven't been taught the absolute truth without interference from godlike beings. We need the truth in order to make the sound discernment. The gist of all what I had learned was to take personal responsibility and accountability and live a good life. Live free from corruption. What is the absolute truth? I begged for the absolute truth, and surprisingly, I could handle it. Kuiper spelled. In this world, I felt there are three groups of X-Men and false powers, that being the MIB, the rogue alien group outside the solar system that comprised all types of animals and insects. They were here to stop our government. These colorful set of characters were easy for me to grasp within my mind as a child. Queen of Hearts. Not sure if a storm was brewing, but I had several migraines with the aura in the color of bright fuchsia and yellow swirling about me. And in the playroom at my babysitter's home, I saw simultaneous existence of a man on a gurney being tortured by Dr. Green, which is Dr. Mingala. I refuse to call him Dr. Mingala because it sounds like mangle. I refuse to be mangled. Mental picture of a black and white photo of Dr. Green. How could someone with good looks be so evil? How did I know this person? However, I vowed to protect and assist those brave souls who were on the same spiritual journey as me. I saw a mental picture of the reigning queen of my timeline. They all felt the same. I felt as if I were queen. In an unconventional reality, there would be a face-off battle between the so-called good and evil, queen versus queen. How would such a showdown occur? I'm a queen with an entire fleet and army behind me. Mentally, I saw at my protection around me winged lions. I raised my invisible sword and continued to express my heart to God. Things had to be done differently this go around. The biblical word Revelations flashed in my mind in red. The storm outside continued with a tornado watch. My babysitter came rushing in as the lights went out. All the kids huddled together. She sang gospel hymns and everything felt all right. The storm ended, clouds cleared. Marriage programming. A recurring night dream I used to escape through my closet, and the event flashed across my pineal. The marriage program. On the other side was a kitchen where my mom and dad of my boyfriend lived. and although we were kids, he was much older than I. We were engaged and eventually encouraged to consummate our marriage. The mom always baked cookies, and the home was immaculate, surgically clean and sterile. I never saw the dad's face, but the mom always had a weird alien smile. The kitchen table felt like a surgical table. The room was dimly lit. His room was a small capsule located upstairs. Even though I don't even ever remember seeing anything else, I do remember this was a facade, and remember her sticking a large needle in the center of my navel. I had also frequently nighttime nosebleeds, migraines, and woke up with bleeding from my base of my head. Well, that's weird. I learned how to fight back with the dream state using the golden dagger. The golden dagger. What the fuck, over? This is Aleister Crowley and the Triplets. Another set of migraines and frightening mental images. I felt Satan was going to take my soul. I saw a black and white photo of Aleister Crowley in my mind. He resembled Uncle Fester from the Fat Addams Family television show, but he was not lovable at the time, and I was terrified of him. I was the bride of Satan, and I was a triplet, but my two other sisters had Aryan features that I did not. We were married to Aleister and Satan. Wonderful. Music class. I played the piano, clarinet, and violin, not all in the same time. Obviously not. But throughout my elementary school experience, there were certain tones that made me feel out of my body, also triggered an awareness of folding of time. Fourth grade Daisy programming and Dr. Green. I felt inferior and stupid in the fourth grade. Math, as if I'd die under the weight of my own stupidity. I'm not Einstein, my genetics are inferior. An onset of migraines and nausea further set the mood to low. I zoned out and began doodling daisies reciting, he loves me not. I felt like my life would be better if I were magical like Jeannie from my Dream of Jeannie show. I snapped out of it because I realized it was mind control programming. This is Daisy programming. Kiss me, smack me. The words appeared at the inner eye. A mental picture of Dr. Green appeared to me. He resembled Jeannie's husband. Dark black hair, charming, but with a gap, because he's got a big ass gap in his teeth. Why was he in black and white? I chose to see him in monochrome, which added another layer of black and white. Mazes of deeper programming issues surfaced. Seeing him in color felt all too real. I didn't want him to know I saw him. How was this even possible? Philadelphia experiment. Another unique experience. As a small kid, I was aware of the highlights of the Philadelphia experiment, of the main figures that would out the project to assist humanity. It was like reading a book that hadn't been written yet. I felt a sense of overwhelming joy and pride that I lived in this reality. These people are real heroes, and it didn't matter race, color, or creed. We were all in this boat together. I saw the USS Eldridge in my mind on numerous occasions, a book-covered ship in the water, or words flashing in my mind that all led to my obsession as a teen to ride the 360-degree looping pirate ship. They had that at Astroworld too, the looping pirate ship. Sometimes twice in a row at a theme park, and even though I hated it, I felt I needed it metaphorically to survive it. Puppet/doll programming. At a child's museum, I felt I was to marry one of the marionette puppets, but I didn't listen to its rules, so mentally it called me derogatory names. You fucking bitch! Or the clown doll, or the male Cabbage Patch I was to marry if I didn't listen. They threatened to harm me. I violently got rid of them, once resulting in a severe fever that felt like I was going to die, but I didn't. I survived. Religious figures and other stories. There were several religious programming events of overlays that happened in my youth and young teens. For example, while reading the Bible school material from Grandma, a Sunday school teacher, and a kid-friendly verses in Psalms and Kings was my favorite. I burst into tears seeing the scene in front of me, in disguise watching Solomon make a crucial decision on which mom is the real parent. Oh yeah, about this. Yeah, Solomon was a great king, and I asked him a million questions to see if I could stump him. The animals and the insects were at his command. It was an interesting time period to view. On discovering the zodiac relationship to Jesus, who was Jesus really? And did he die on the cross? Why did I feel the weight of a gun in my hand pointed in his direction? No! I don't want to take away from Stewart's written story, but I wanted to share my own personal experience, even though I wasn't there, to the story unfolded in my mind in the book covered in Montauk Alien Connection appeared. The truth revealed itself about the Christ figure. Because Stuart Swordlow said they sent him through time to shoot Jesus with a gun, and he wasn't able to do it. Even though I wasn't there, the story unfolded in my mind. The book cover from Montauk Alien Connection appeared. The truth revealed itself about the Christ figure, his real name, and that he had a family with Mary Magdalene. I elected not to write this down for fear of men in black discovering my writings, and my family out of concern for labeling me as mentally crazy. Crystal skull in grandma's room, teen watching TV. I received a mental picture of the crystal skull and its history. There was another mental test of my abilities. I knew whatever I thought in its presence would be my reality. Talk about immense pressure. So naturally, I thought about unconditional love. I received a mental picture of a future book called Blue Blood, True Blood. This gave me hope that I wasn't imagining things and that this information exists in my reality. Growing up is not easy, being aware of the environment all the time, but I also felt joy that all the people have good opportunities to correct themselves and that I too had the ability to forever change the course of the planned programmed history. I remember reciting those words when I eventually saw those words written was beyond comparison. I wasn't alone. This is case analysis for this first case. This person has a very comprehensive programming issue. I've known this person for many years. I trust the images that she says she mentally saw. She is extremely sensitive and intuitive. She may have genetics that go back to King Solomon and Queen Sheba. She also has Amerindian DNA. This combination makes her very usable for programming. There were mind control systems that created oracles to be trained and used for the Illuminati. The idea was to have slaves tap into alternate realities to see possibilities as outcomes of certain decisions. This was tested at Montauk Project. I was an early test case for this. This person was able to decipher information and images that was transmitted electromagnetically around the earth. This is how she was able to pick up names and events which the rest of the population was unaware. She also has extremely active back altar life in her matrix. The programming matrix is comprised of front altars and back altars. The front altars take control of the physical body to perform their functions. The back altars usually never come forward, but operate in a virtual world within the construct of the matrix in order to act as placeholders to keep the full structure of the programming in place. Back altars are like support beams in a building or a frame for a picture. This person has basic monarch programming, which is designed to act as an espionage agent. In her case, it is used to gain information about topics that interested her. That is an issue that sometimes backfired on programmers. when they overloaded a person with too much of an instructional sequence, and the mind literally breaks free of the overload in order to survive. This is what happened in my own case. However, sometimes the overload can result in illness, suicide, or mental breakdown. This person was being groomed for possibility of a use in secret space programs and of the deep state and even the Fourth Reich. You may recall the character of Troy from Star Trek Next Generation television show. She was sensitive. She who advised the captain when meeting alien beings or when in negotiations with others. The programming of this person was partially based on the character. She has several main operating programs that act as anchors to also support the integrity of the programming matrix. This monarch continues her deprogramming efforts and has made tremendous progress. She channels her downloads and deciphering into amazing artwork. She uses hyperspace techniques easily and continues to learn with expansions. So that's the first case and chapter. So as you can see there, that is some of the mind control programs, how they operate and work. We will read case 2, the male monarch, dragonfly, and green star, probably in a little bit today. Enjoy. We shall be back with this book. We will piece it out and read the whole damn thing today, maybe most of it.